2: Here I Come is a movie I could not wait to see. I was super hyped to see. I loved that first movie. I love Samara Weaving in that first movie. I thought it was fresh, it was original, it was new. Coming from director Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, who was one of the guys behind like Scream and Scream 6, and then he ran away from the dumpster fire that was Scream 7. I think probably to do this. My name is Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Presents Off the Reel. It's an Off the Reel review. You can go over to the website, nerdly.co.uk, and maybe someone over there has also reviewed the movie. But we will be talking about the plot of this movie, we'll be talking about the cast and crew of this movie, and then we will get into what I did not like, or what I did like about this movie, and then my final Nerdly Presents Off the Reel review rating. That is my rating, which you can take to the bank because I'm the most important person you will find out there. And what I'll start with is the synopsis as IMDb would have you believe. And that is, after surviving one deadly game, Grace and her sister Faith must now outrun 4 rival families competing for a powerful throne. Winner takes all. And yeah, we do start right at the end of the first movie. You know, the bit when she's walking down the stairs, she sparks up a fag, and then the ambulances and all that start coming in. That is where we are literally going to start this movie. And Samara Weaving is taken straight to the hospital. And they've got some questions, as you might understand. The house is covered in blood. She is covered in blood. There's a lot of dead people. How did it all happen? They don't know that she survived a wicked-ass game of hide-and-seek. And when she's there, her sister Faith turns up, which is a bit strange because she's been telling everyone that she doesn't have a sister, she doesn't have any family. And then Faith's kind of like, dude, what actually happened? So she starts to explain what happened to her in the house, and the sister's just kind of like, nah, I ain't believing that. Anyway, we cut across town, or we cut across the country, or we cut to somewhere else where we meet this old boy called Chester Danforth, and he's like sitting there watching the news, and on the news there's this big war going on, and it says no ceasefire is in sight. He makes this phone call, and he's like, call a ceasefire, and then on the news, breaking news! Ceasefire has been called. So we're instantly shown that this guy is like some sort of powerful dude. He's sitting there and he gets a visit from Elijah Wood, who plays the lawyer in this movie. And Elijah Wood comes over and says to him, so the girl, the bride, survived the game, so the ball is in play and this bylaw has been enacted. So what we come to find out, that family in the first movie were part of this conglomerate of like 6 families that all sit around the table, and they're like the most powerful families in the world. But within those 6 families, there's one family that sits at the head of the table. They have like the signet ring, and that means they're the head of the table. They have all the power, so they can tell everybody else what's going on. Now, with Samara Weaving in the first movie, with Grace having survived, she's now enacted this bylaw that basically means that because somebody won one of their games that wasn't supposed to win one of their games, all of the families have to come together, and now the power that the Danforths hold is up for grabs. All you need to do is win the ring, and then you get all the power and you can do whatever you want. So Chester brings forth his kids, Ursula and Titus, and he's like, right, you guys are fighting for me, you have to go and do this, keep the power, don't lose the power. The Danforth family have been in charge for decades. We basically go back to the hospital, and Grace and Faith are leaving the hospital, but they are confronted by this Markle big guy. It's Kevin Durand. We love Kevin Durand. We've already met him as one part of one of the families, so he comes in and he like tries to take them out, but then just as he's about to kill Grace, he explodes. Now, if you've seen the first movie, that totally makes sense, because this is something that can happen to these people. We come to find out that he exploded because the game hasn't actually started yet, and Elijah Wood comes into the hospital, takes Grace and Faith, and he's like, right, now the game is going to begin because we have to go to the lodge. All the families come to the lodge. Because she married the son from the family in the first movie, she actually is now taking over their sort of bloodline, and all she has to do is survive till the morning. Does that sound familiar? It is pretty familiar. We are kind of retreading the same ground, but in a totally new way, because now instead of one family trying to kill her, hoping that they can all survive, we have a bunch of families that all want the power, all want to survive, and all she has to do is survive the night. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Anything else would be spoiler territory, even though there's not much to spoil. You've seen the first movie, you've kind of already seen this movie. It's just told in a very different, very original, and very fresh way. So let's get into the cast and crew. And again, Samara Weaving absolutely is killing this movie. She is so good in this film. She was immense in the first film, but she's even better in this one. And I would say Samara Weaving is on a bit of a run right now. She's just awesome. She's just a really good actress that I love seeing in these roles in particular, where she gets to just go nuts. Her sister Faith Macaulay in this movie is played by Kathryn Newton. Kathryn Newton is an up-and-coming actress that, yes, I've seen about, and I've seen her doing things. I've always kind of been a little bit of a fan of her. The movie Freaky, where Vince Vaughn played the serial killer, it was kind of like a Freaky Friday sort of thing. He was a serial killer. He swapped bodies with a teenage girl. That was Kathryn Newton, and then she turns into the serial killer. Absolutely exceptional movie. Such a good movie. Really, really good fun film, and I did really enjoy that body swap kind of thing done differently. And in this film, she's really pulling her boots up and she's getting stuck in. Samara Weaving in the first movie goes through quite a lot in terms of getting stabbed, getting shot, putting her hands on nails, falling over, breaking things. Kathryn Newton absolutely picking up the slack here as well, getting her ass beat at one point, getting stabbed, getting shot, all those different things. These girls are really, really going through it. Elijah Wood as the lawyer is probably a highlight of the movie. He's just so fun. Elijah Wood is at that point in his career where he can just kind of do whatever he wants and he's gonna have fun doing it. So when it comes to like the satanic cult aspect of this movie, he really, really friggin' embraces all of that and just looks like he's loving it. The son and daughter of Chester Danforth, Ursula and Titus, are played by Sarah Michelle Gellar and Shawn Hotosy. Shawn Hotosy, recently, if you saw him in The Pit, this is an actor who's really, really hitting his stride round about now. I loved him in Dexter a little while back, and he's done other things going way, way back. What can you not say about Sarah Michelle Gellar? Like, this is a dream casting for this director and his writer and everything. They loved Scream, they loved Buffy, they love Sarah Michelle Gellar. So here we have Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's not doing a great deal, but she's very, very deadpan in what she's doing and actually sinister as shit. So that's all you could really ask for from her. David Cronenberg does a little cameo as Chester Danforth, and again, when you talk about dream casting for cameos, surely to hell that's one of them. Nestor Carbonell plays Ignacio Elcado, one of the other heads of the families. He is absolutely brilliant in the film, just like walking around with a sniper rifle trying to shoot people, and he's terrible with it. So funny, yet so awesome. I will say that I think I preferred the casting in the first movie. I think they nailed that dead on. I like the casting in this movie, but sometimes it feels like there's a bit too many of them. But there are points in the movie where I'm kind of like, the heads of these families are actually pretty funny, pretty dope, but there's just maybe one or two extra characters I don't feel like were needed in this film. What I did and did not like about the movie. So again, just like the first movie, it is funny because we are essentially retreading the same story, retreading the same story beats, but honestly, it's done in a super fresh way. I like Matt Bettinelli-Olpin. I really do like him as a director and as a writer, and I know he has his directing and writing partners, so like I'm really into what they're doing. They just have a really cool grasp on how to do horror and how to do scares and how to do shock value, but also add that level of comedy that sometimes you're not really expecting. And this movie, there's a lot of comedy you're not really expecting. There is one scene where the two girls, like they've been maced in the face. So Samara Weaving's been maced in the face, and then one of the heads of the family who's trying to kill her because she absolutely hates her, she's been maced in the face. And when it cuts to them, like you've got Bonnie Tyler's Turn Around like going on in the background, and you have like this moment where they're just swinging and they're just punching air because they can't see each other because they've just been maced in the face. And I love that. Like, how often do you get moments like that in movies like this? They'd get maced in the face, they'd cut away and then they'd cut back and they'd be totally fine, they'd be punching each other, but they're literally throwing themselves at each other but can't even see each other. It's commitment to the next level from our actors. But there are a few other scenes like that, like when Nestor Carbonell is trying to shoot them with the sniper rifle and he's either missing or shooting the wrong people, or he's just completely crap. He goes to cock the rifle and the bloody thing falls out, the cartridge falls out, and then when his daughter comes out and she gets like this rocket launcher. Silly things happen throughout this movie that you're not necessarily expecting. They add to the movie. They add to the fact that, yes, these are rich, hoity-toity people, but they're also just kind of friggin' stupid. They're just idiots. And that's why Samara Weaving and Kathryn Newton as Faith and Grace are able to outsmart them just about every step of the way. With that, we do get some scenes where they get their asses handed to them. There's a scene with Shawn Hotosy absolutely kicking the crap out of one of our girls. And my God, it seems to go on for a good long while. I started to feel slightly uncomfortable because he is kicking the shit out of her. But it's just to show you how evil these guys are and how evil the rich people can be and how like the downtrodden and the lesser than, the lower class, the middle class just get trodden on and just get beaten on. And I don't know if that's what they were trying to say. It certainly kind of felt that way. But our girl takes a kicking when this happens. But I might as well now just get into my final Nerdly Presents Off the Reel rating review rating. Easy for me to say. I love this movie. I really love this movie. It's a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's pretty much almost perfect. It's the pumping the brakes towards the end of the movie that really didn't irk me but didn't really satisfy me in a way. I get what we're doing. We're dealing with the more supernatural aspect of the movie and the more cultish aspect of the movie. But really, I just want to see Samara Weaving put in situations where it's like, how do I get out of this? How do we get away from this? And I want to see these people trying to kill her, not succeeding and blowing up because of it. I think they're really onto something with this franchise. If they want to make a third one, I don't know how you do make a third one. This definitely did feel like Ready or Not 2 is going to be it. We're probably not going to get another. Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and his team, if they want to make another one, go for it. I'm not going to blame you if you do, but I think you're perfectly fine here. At one point, I did kind of suspect that maybe we were going to lose Samara and Kathryn was going to take over the franchise. That is not for me to say. This is a 4.5 out of 5. I think the action is excellent. The comedy is excellent. The gore is just brilliant. The punishment our girls get put through is absolutely brilliant, which is strange for me to say, being that I have 3 girls. This is a great little movie. I think they can be very proud of what they've done here. Do I think it surpasses the original? Probably not. So yeah, it's a 4.5 out of 5 from me. Please do check out Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. I see what you did there. I did like it. But for now, you can go over to the website nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all of your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. We like to cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, with a special keen interest from my point of view on the lower end of the scale. This isn't the lower end of the scale. This definitely had a Hollywood budget to it. I don't know if it was a massive budget, but it definitely had a budget. All those people spontaneously combusting and just blood everywhere. I'm here for that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you in the cinema.